First item you see is undercapitalized, and there's two main points I'd like to stress on this. One is almost every new business I call is the double V, vendor vulnerable. Every vendor that walks through the door, whether it's the yellow page vendor or somebody selling something to a new company, sounds great, and they become what I call vendor vulnerable, and it's amazing. Not many businesses have the proper amount of money to begin with, but the money they do have, that they blow through because they listen to the first gifted salesman that walks through the door. I never forget when I ran the St. Pete Chamber, there was a young couple, great young couple, and he was going to go into the counter business, granite countertops and so forth. And he bought the fanciest new truck. He rented a space that's probably 4 times bigger than he needed. He bought all the latest equipment, and of course he was broke by the time that he was ready for his first job. It is amazing. It's just not the amount of money that you've got, is how wisely you spend your investment initially. And so when we talk about people being undercapitalized, it's not just a matter maybe they don't have enough initial money. It's how they spend their money initially that gets them in deep trouble. Secondly, on lack of overall knowledge. In 1993, I was head of the Muncie, Delaware County Chamber, and I got so daggum discouraged at the failure rate of new businesses that I created a concept called Entrepreneurial Academy. Here we call it Entrepreneurial Institute. I wanted to make it convenient, I wanted to make it affordable, and nothing against the academic community because I work for one, but I didn't want academicians teaching the course. I wanted business people teaching business people. And so we put together a 30-hour program, 3 hours, 1 night a week, 10 consecutive weeks. I've had over 1,000 graduates of that program. And it was interesting, in St. Pete, of the 700 grads we had, 80% were thinking about going into business, 20% in business. The 140 grads we've had since I started here, it's flipped. 80% in business, 20% thinking about going into business. Never forget, I had a couple in their 40s in St. Pete, photography business. And they came up to me after the 10 weeks and they said, we'd given anything if we'd taken this course before we went into business than after. Several of the panelists are instructors in our Entrepreneurial Institute here. We do one session at our Claremont campus in South Lake campus. Then we are kicking off our Entrepreneurial Institute next month in Leesburg. And of all the things that I've done over the 20-year chamber career, which I've carried over to this is, I think, the single best thing, and for the money, because it's $195 for non-chamber members, $165 for chamber members. I will argue that it's the best entrepreneurial program in the United States for the money. You can get better programs, maybe a lot more money, but for the money and convenience, I don't think that you can beat it. But the key to it is business people are teaching business people what these people did for a living 20, 30, 40 years, so it's rubber meets the road instruction. Last, on poor business plans, let me see, I think the biggest mistake, and they were kind of touched upon earlier, some people do business plans like we used to do busy work in college. You do it just because you got to do it. You don't give any real thought to it. You're not realistic on your budgeting, your planning, and so it is almost a useless document. And usually the business plans that we're talking about are the kind of business plans that you're taking for financing. Because I agree with Dwayne, once you're up and running, you kind of tweak your business plan rather than start maybe from ground zero. But I'd say the best thing that would help a new business person on a good business plan is you get a hold of people who have been successful in similar businesses in non-competitive areas to you, where they'll be honest with you and share with you their experiences, but talk about their expenses, the pitfalls, the things they need to watch out for, so that when you do your business plan, it is a legitimate, well thought out, reliable document. And of course, our members of SCORE, who work with a lot of people on business plans, it is amazing to me how unrealistic or sloppy people are in doing business plans. And of course, we've got one session in our Entrepreneurial Institute on how to be bankable. And Tom Popesky, I talked to Tom about the number of business plans he's seen, and it's kind of embarrassing that a business person expecting money would walk in and hand some of the documents that they hand over. So not only on the business plan as far as getting your network, I would encourage any business to find other successful businesses throughout the country and form a network. There's a lot of businesses, like printing businesses, that have associations, but I have a printer friend in St. Pete, Al Carnavash's, and he has about 8 to 10 of his compatriots around America that they constantly share information. And he tells me, I can't begin to tell you the value they have had to my business over the years on us sharing the information. So not only use that tool to form your business plan, but continue that relationship, because it will be essential, I think, as far as you kind of staying on the cutting edge of being successful. Thank you.